Mabuhay! At welcome to Philcon Living, kung saan ibinabahagi ko sa madlang people ang mga kaganapan sa buhay, lalong-lalo na sa aspekto ng personal finance, charity, spirituality, at lifestyle in general. Kaya kung bago ka pa lang sa aking channel, pa-subscribe naman kabayan para updated ka sa susunod ko pang mga videos. Well, sa mga bago pa lang sa aking channel, ako po si Mang Gusteng, aka The Ego Rot Investor, isang Filipino-Canadian na kasalukuyan naninirahan at nagtatrabaho dito sa Vancouver. At sa episode na ito ay aking ibabahagi ang update ng aking saving and investing journey sa Pilipinas. Pero teka, bakit nga ba ako nag-e-invest sa Pilipinas? Why not do it here in Canada? Well, meron akong two major reasons kung bakit ako nag-e-invest sa Pilipinas. Una, it is a part of my retirement plan. Ang plano ko kasi pag nag-retire ako is to spend a significant amount of time in the Philippines every year, especially during winter time. Syempre, dahil may savings at investment ako sa Pinas, plane ticket na lang ang bibilhin ko, and the rest of my expenses in the Philippines will be taken care of. Ang pangalawang rason kung bakit ako nag-e-invest sa Pinas is, it is a part of my portfolio diversification. Naniniwala ako sa kasabihan na, do not put your egg in one basket, kaya, although majority of my investment is in Canada, a significant portion is also invested in the US, Europe, and in the Philippines. So yan po mga kababayan ang dalawang dahilan kung bakit may investment ako sa Pilipinas. As I said previously, I am fully diversified, not only in terms of sector or industry, but also in terms of geographic location, as you can see in this table. 60% is invested in Canadian companies, which is very obvious because I am Canadian. 27% is invested in the US, 9% in the Philippines, and 4% in Europe. Tungkol naman sa savings and investment ko sa Pilipinas, 61% is invested in the Philippine stock market, 30% is in a regular savings deposit, which also serve as my emergency fund, and 9% is in time deposit, for a total of 1.24 million pesos, as of June 30, 2025. Ngayon tignan naman natin ang performance ng aking investment sa Philippine stock market. Gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, 61% ng pera ko sa Pinas ay naka-invest sa Philippine stock market, at ito ay nagkakahalaga ng halos 747,500 pesos. Makikita nyo din sa table na meron akong halos 53,000 na year-to-date gain, in addition to my estimated yearly dividend na higit 40,000, which is not bad at all. Marami kasi ang nagsasabi na hindi raw magandang mag-invest sa Philippine stock market dahil limited ang pagpipilian na kumpanya at saka sideways ang performance, pero base sa aking experience in the last 3 years ay competitive siya kumpara sa investment ko dito sa Canada, especially pagdating sa dividends. And speaking of dividend, halos 3,340 pesos ang average dividend na natatanggap ko kada buwan, based on my current dividend yield na 6.1% at yield on cost na 6.6%. By the way, ang 6.1% na dividend yield ng aking portfolio is a little bit higher than the 5.9% average ng Philippine market as a whole. Likewise, my projected dividend growth rate is 11.4%, which is way higher than the 6.4% of the Philippine market. Samantala, narito ang 5 best performing stocks ng aking portfolio. Number 1 is Lucio Tan Group o LTG, kung saan up ako ng 43.6%. Number 2 is Cusco Capital, kung saan up ako ng 29.2%. Number 3 is Pure Gold, kung saan up ako ng 30.2%. Number 4 is Citicorp Real Estate Investment Trust, kung saan up ako ng 33.2%. At ang panglima ay Keepers Holdings, kung saan up ako ng 33.5%. On the other hand, narito naman ang 5 worst performing stock ng aking portfolio. Number 1 is GMA7, kung saan down ako ng 36.8%. Number 2 is Maxis Group, kung saan down ako ng 22.2%. Number 3 is Globe Telecom, kung saan down ako ng 8.3%. Number 4 is Macro Asia, kung saan down ako ng 7.5%. At ang panglima ay PLDT, kung saan down ako ng 5.4%. Kapansin-pansin na dalawa sa worst performing stocks, ang Globe at PLDT, fall under the telecommunication industry, kung saan ang performance nito sa Canada at US ay bagsak din, kaya sa ngayon ay down din ang investment ko sa Telos, BCE, at AT&T. In terms naman sa performance by sector, nangunguna dito ang real estate, consumer staples, at industrial sectors. Samantala, ang worst performing sector sa ngayon ay ang consumer discretionary at telecommunication. However, kung tatanungin mo ko kung anong sector magandang mag-invest sa ngayon, I will go with telecommunication. Dito sa Canada, Telos, Rogers, and Bell are all very undervalued. Sa Pinas naman, PLDT and Globe are also undervalued. Ang AT&T sa US market ay maganda rin, lalong-lalo na kung ikaw ay dividend investor na kagaya ko. Finally, narito ang 25 stocks na laman ng aking portfolio, at ang performance nila sa kasalukuyan. Andres Soriano Holdings, up by 20%. Aboitiz Power, up by 16.7%. Ayala Real Estate Investment Trust, up by 19.7%. Bank of Philippine Island, slightly up by less than 1%. Costco Capital, up by 29.2%. Citicorp Real Estate Investment Trust, up by 33.2%. DMCI, down by 5.7%. San Miguel Food and Beverages, up by 11.1%. First Gen Corporation, down by 1.9%. Globe Telecom, down by 8.3%. GMA7, down by 36.8%. Keepers Holdings, up by 33.5%. Lucio Tan Group, up by 43.6%. Macro Asia, down by 7.5%. Maxis Group, down by 22.2%. Metrobank, up by 30.8%. Megamall Real Estate Investment Trust, up by 9.9%. Pure Gold, up by 30.2%. Philippine Savings Bank, up by 3.8%. Robinson Commercial Real Estate Investment Trust, up by 24.7%. Robinson Retail Holdings, up by 5.8%. Security Bank, up by 9%. Philippines 7, down by 5.1%. PLDT, down by 5.4%. And finally, Union Bank of the Philippines, down by 8%. Yan po mga kababayan ang 25 na kumpanya, kung saan ako naka-invest sa Philippine stock market. So overall, ay up ako ng halos 8% year to date. At yan po mga kababayan ang update ng aking portfolio sa second quarter ng taong ito. Salamat sa panunood at mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Adios!